Hello, all you fellow fans of Christopher Manson's Maze. This is Bill M. with Maze commentary number 25. In 24, I talked about mapping Maze, and I kind of want to continue on with that here in commentary 25. I want to talk about the loop rooms and generally getting unlost from them. This will be more focused on the mapping and the layout rather than clues. First, an overview and some obligatory disclaimers. As I keep saying, Christopher Manson's Maze is a beautiful book with lots of clues to find and puzzles to solve. I know a lot of people get frustrated by it or try to say it was not well made. Well, if I could offer an analogy, I think it's kind of like a good cult film. If it's a good cult film, you can enjoy it with multiple viewings, even if you know the ending. There are always new things you find in it, notice, and focus on and stuff. And with Maze, even if the main challenges have been solved and officially released and all that, again, there's still so much to explore. And as I said in the previous commentary, number 24, which was about mapping Maze, sometimes there comes a point where we've been at a puzzle for so long, we might want a cheat sheet, even if we make it and write it down ourselves. Sometimes it's okay to see the underlying mechanics of a game. That's my rationale. So this commentary is a short continuation of 24. You can think of that, dealing particularly with navigating the loop rooms and using the map that I used. And, of course, I have to say, please give this video a like. Please, that will help. It seems like only 10% of viewers actually give the clip a like, but I would appreciate it. Let's move on. Well, let's give a recap first. There are 45 rooms in Maze, and of course, thousands of paths between them. You can travel all around in all many different ways. From the book's directions, quote, "Your challenge is to find your way from room 1, after the prologue, to room 45 and back, using the shortest possible path. If you use your head, you should be able to make the journey in only 16 steps. Yes, the solution to this is known. It was revealed by the publisher after the contest. I've talked about this many times. We are also told in the directions, quote, "There are any number of clues in the drawings and in the story to help you choose the right door in each room." Okay, well, this kind of begs a question, because if the journey from 1 to 45 and back is only 16 steps, then that means at most 16 rooms or thereabouts, would have a correct door to choose. So what about all those other rooms in Maze? Are we to assume that they don't have a correct door? I mean, we are told every room has a correct door. So what does it mean to be a correct door in a room that is not on the shortest path? Well, my attitude is this. A longer path, 17 or more steps, from 1 to 45 and back, is still better than never finding a path, never finding your way to 45, let alone back. Also, once you do find a long path between 1 and 45, usually you've found most of the shortest path. A lot of the rooms that make up the shortest path are going to show up on almost any path you make from 1 to 45 and back. So I don't know about you, but when I was first trying to find the shortest path, I did finally find a path through, a lot of trial and error and stuff, and then was able to narrow it down until I finally figured out what the shortest path was. So I would say wherever we are in Maze, whatever the room is, we want to find the quickest way, at least, from there to room 45, or if we have already reached room 45, the quickest way back to 1. So how do you do that? Well, I would say it depends on the room type. Because remember, as I've said many times before, you can think of the rooms of Maze as being in 3 different categories. So we have path rooms, loop rooms, and trap rooms. Let me just start with a recap. Start with trap rooms. Trap rooms, there are 7 of these in Maze, and once you are in one of these, there is no way to reach room 1 or room 45. No matter which exit you take out of one of these rooms, you just end up in one of the other trap rooms, so no escape from those. Path rooms, there are 19 of those, and there are 19 loop rooms. Now, the path rooms, these are rooms where you can find both a direct path to room 1 and a direct path to 45, including those two rooms. We consider room 1 and room 45 to be path rooms. Not every room that is a path room is on the shortest path from 1 to 45 and back. However, every room that is on the shortest path from 1 to 45 and back is a path room. Loop rooms, the remainder of the rooms, well, there is no direct path on these to 45. There is a way to get from any loop room back to room 1, which, if you remember, room 1 has that picture of the drawing board in it, and I think that's what that means. Literally back to the drawing board and try again. So that's what you have to do to get out of the loop. And there is only one way to do this, as we'll see. So if you find yourself deeply lost inside maze, you find yourself going in circles a lot, chances are you are in a trap room, or you could be in a loop room. Now, if you're in a trap room, like I said, you have no hope of getting to 1 or to 45. You might be in a path room. It is possible you might be in a path room and find yourself going in circles, in which case there is still technically a way to find your way to room 45, or, again, if you're leaving room 45, find your way back to 1, so long as you avoid the trap rooms, and best to avoid the loop rooms as well, and try to stick to only entering other path rooms. Now, if you are in a loop room, again, the correct doors should, well, in theory, be the one that leads you out of the loop the quickest. So that means taking the doors that lead you to room 41. Why room 41? Because that is the only way to exit the loop. You get to room 41, there was an exit there to room 1. And you're back where you started in the book, but that is the best you can do to get out of the loop. And again, I would argue that when it comes to picking correct doors in the loop, that's what a correct door is. So how do we do this? How do we exit the loop? Well, I'm going to give you some cheat sheets on the next couple of slides. So in the previous commentary number 24, I offered this map that I made of the loop rooms plus the trap rooms. The general strategy for getting out, I would say, is this. If you're in the innermost rooms, you want to get to room 33. I have that marked with a red star. If you're in the next deepest rooms, you want to make your way out to room 18. That's the gray star. And then finally from there is a path to get to room 41. That is the Chutes and Ladders room. That's the one I have here in the blue star. And from there, you can exit to room 1. And of course, again, you got to avoid any of the doors to the trap rooms, because once you're in there, you can't get back out. Now let's look at this in some more detail. You can use the map that I showed in the previous slide if you want to pause it, take a screenshot, or whatever. You can do that, but just to list out the rooms here. So if you are in the deepest part of the maze, which I would say is rooms 7, 16, 36, or the closet room 35, you can get to room 33, and here I have the path for that. If you're in any of the next rooms, I have the paths listed out here to get to 18. And then from 18, or any of the rooms that follow there's a direct path to get to 41 and to room 1. So for example, let's say you're in room 9. You want to know how to get out of the loop. Well, we see there in the second group of bullet points, and then the second bullet point from there, you see it says 27 to 9 to 18. So 9 has a door to 18. And then once you take that to room 18, that's the fireplace room, you can follow that sequence on the bottom, 18 to 13 to 25, 34 to 10, 41, 1. So what you have here, presented here, I've written out the shortest ways to get out of the loop depending on where you are. So that's all I really wanted to present in this clip. When it comes to examining the rooms themselves, again, I do think there is a lot to explore with clues and little stories and all that. And I have covered most of the loop rooms so far. And in this table, I'll show you which commentary of mine. So using room number 9 as an example, we see that in commentary number 11, if you search my channel for Bill's Maze commentary number 11, you'll see that I talk about room 9 in that one, along with rooms 16, 27, 36, and 44. Now, there are still some loop rooms I have not talked about yet, 10, 14, 19, 25, 31, 34. I am certainly planning on doing some clips on those. One reason I haven't yet is because I've been pretty stumped with some of them. But I have found a lot with that. I have found some clues that were pretty satisfying to me, and I am certainly going to be sharing those with you in the future. In closing, I just want to say a little bit about this cartoon that I put on the first slide. This is a cartoon by an artist from Czechoslovakia called Stanislav Holý. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Whether it's Czechoslovakia or the Czech Republic or Bohemia, he was born in the wake of, World War II. So what exactly the name was at the time, I don't know. You can go look it up. But he was an author of children's books. He also created an animated character called Mr. Pip. And this particular cartoon I found back in high school in a book I had for English class. The book was called A World Enclosed Tragedy. And it was a great collection of little short stories and poems and artwork as well. And this was there. And I don't know, the paradox of this cartoon just kind of spoke to me. You can make a lot of philosophical interpretations of that. But anyway, since we're talking about maze, I've always loved this cartoon and thought I would find a good excuse to share it. Anyway, thank you for listening. We'll see you next time with more commentaries on Christopher Manson's Maze.